How do you bring reconciliation to Libya? A difficult question in the aftermath of a revolution. There are, for example, some concerns over the treatment of people who stayed loyal to Colonel Gaddafi and his regime. The United Nations estimates that more than 7,000 people are being detained, and of course there isn't a fully functional legal system. And the National Transitional Council, which is in charge, has published a draft law that would bar members of the Gaddafi regime from running in the elections that are due later this year. Our correspondent in Tripoli, Mark Lowen, reports now on what's happened to all these supporters of Gaddafi.
Behind the iron gates of Khandar prison outside Tripoli lies a dark side of the new Libya. Dozens of inmates identified with the old Gaddafi regime, mistreated and held here for months, with a judicial system that doesn't yet function. I'm just coming inside, salam alaikum, a cell now, and the cell is about 5 meters by 3 meters, and there are 14 people who sleep in this cell. There's no light.
No light.
No light.
Okay, no water.
No water.
No water. No the door. Okay.
Yeah, and the door of the toilet doesn't close, so they're saying that the stench from the toilet comes into the room itself. It's not hard to find prisoners who talk of serious abuse at the hands of their jailers. One shows me the scars of when his arms and feet were smashed with a hammer. A few days later, the guard came and apologized for what he called a misunderstanding. We're in a disgusting situation, this man told me. I've been kept here for 4 months just because I'm pro-Gaddafi. I've been tortured with electric wires. Why? I don't understand what this revolution is, he says. Put us on trial if necessary, but this is making us hate the revolution.
This picture taken in the morgue, killed by the knife.
It's pretty horrific.
Yes, he had 5 kids.
It's a pattern of torture which is worryingly widespread, say human rights organizations, who have published damning reports about prison mistreatment since the uprising began. One of the campaigners is Hani Boumediene, who shows me pictures of prisoners killed through beatings. He himself was in jail under Colonel Gaddafi, but says it's time for things to change.
This is not good for New Libya. We need to build our country, not with hate. If this will continue, our community will divide it against and with the government. Like the past. We don't need this in the future.
And what would happen if those divisions continue?
We don't know, maybe civil war, maybe anything, but will disturb the security in the country.
The Justice Minister Ali Ashur argues that the Gaddafi supporters are left locked up partly for their own good, and he admits his government is running scared.
These people were arrested because on the one hand we were afraid of them, that they might do something against the revolution, and on the other hand because we must protect them in case somebody attacks them in revenge. The rebels are still in charge of some of the prisons, and they are the ones who mistreat the inmates. The government hasn't got them under control.
It's in the still staunchly pro-Gaddafi areas, like the one I'm in at the moment, where the government's attempts at reconciliation will be judged. Looking around in this part of Tripoli, there are no tricolour flags of the revolution here. 18-year-old boy next to me is just saying that Gaddafi is a strong and great man. Those who sided with the uprising say that they were long on the receiving end of abuse and tyranny under the Gaddafi regime. But the fear is that revenge could now stalk the new Libya. That fear is ever present at Tripoli Central Hospital, where even the sick are segregated. The 6th floor wards are reserved for the pro-Gaddafi loyalists, while the revolutionaries are cared for upstairs. It's for their safety. The splits still remain too deep. Abdul Nasser tells me he's asking the government to treat him better. We're all Libyan, he says. It's as though now that Gaddafi's gone and the new government is in place, the story's over, but they should look after our human rights as brothers.